So Clive Palmer is able to operate under the old rules, not the new ones, which means he's, of course, in with his new party. If he does the advertising spend and directs it message-wise the way they did against Bill Shorten, that's really good for Peter Dutton. If it's bugger them all like they did in 2022, that ultimately ends up being good for Anthony Albanese. So, until you see the first ad, how do you feel about Palmer in 2025?
I mean, look, I think his political strategies, he's going to try and take the Donald Trump formula, roll it out here in Australia, and he's going to go after Peter Dutton and the Liberals, who he doesn't think are conservative enough. I suspect he'll blow a whole lot of money, probably harm the electoral chances of the Liberal National Party, and won't get much of an outcome. I mean, remember that brilliant IKEA ad about Clive Palmer's campaign? They sort of had Clive Palmer, $100 million, one seat. IKEA, $100, one seat. What delivers you better value? It's just a massive, massive waste of his money. Look, it's his money and it's a democracy, so he's allowed to do it, sadly, under the old rules. But look, I think it's going to be him trying to get everyone to look at him, and I'm not sure it's going to be a great thing for the voters of Australia.
Yeah, I mean, Lisa, look, the media companies love Clive Palmer. Why? Because, of course, he's, paying them, right? So they're all very happy. But his message and what it is going to be the indication of its effect when it comes to the election. Look, I think some of the polls are overcooked, saying, Dutton and the Libs at 73 seats. I don't think that's the case. I think the Freshwater one was a little closer. We were sort of talking about an exchange of, Labor losing 7, the Coalition winning 10, and that basically puts Labor in the position to form a minority. That's where I think it's going to end up, but nothing is inevitable, and I certainly want a different outcome than that. But in these ads, he has an opportunity to punch harder than anyone else in the field. Now, he's already said that, he's direct about two genders. He's direct about many of the things that are quite Trumpian. But obviously, if he actually decides to aim it all at Anthony Albanese, well, then that's going to help Peter Dutton, isn't it?
Well, it is. And look, in no way is this about Clive Palmer getting bums on seats in Parliament, because we know that's not going to happen. As Nicholas said, $100 million, he got 1 Senate seat. So it's not about that. And look, as an aside, he then has to go and try and find these candidates. So I don't know where he's going to find those, but that's a whole other story. But you're right, this is about disruption. This is about him capturing that part of Australia that is watching what's happening in America and saying, we want that here. And as much as everybody is pushing Peter Dutton at the moment, he isn't yet at that point, and I don't know if he will get there. So what will fill the void? Clive Palmer, you're right. Years ago, he was already talking about nuclear. And so now the coalition is caught up on nuclear.
Really good point.
He'll now push, as you say, the two genders. So that will actually capture some of the voting electorate out there. So he will hold those tough conversations, as you say, the challenging ones that everyone sort of says, don't want to say it out loud. He will say it. And maybe that will push that public narrative, and maybe that will push the coalition to come out harder.
Yeah, we'll see.